Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Kind of Cool podcast.
It's only kind of cool.
Kind of cool.
Not super cool.
Nope, that's why it's not called the Super Cool podcast. Just the Kind of Cool podcast. I am your host, Jamin. Another week, another podcast. The relentless march of time
Marches on?
carries on.
Marches on.
Did I say it wrong? The relentless march of time marches on? It's kind of redundant to say march twice.
I don't know. I don't think that you're correct.
I'm saying it wrong, but golly, does it just feel like weeks are flying by at this point?
Jesus, it do on the weekend, but it don't on the weekdays.
Yeah, I don't know. Time is such a weird concept because I'm wondering how, like, what I think is the days just go by so fast because the NFL draft is coming up, and I've been looking forward to it for literally months, and it's like this Thursday, and it's almost here, and I'm like, my goodness, it just feels like, because it's just a small part of my life, but it's getting here so quick, and I'm like, man, I'm so excited for it, but it doesn't feel like I've been waiting for it forever, like when you're waiting for Christmas or your birthday when you're young, it takes forever to get there. But nowadays, it just kind of, your birthday shows up. Christmas just shows up.
You can have a conversation with my brother about that because he's very interested in it, and there's a math reason why it's that way.
Right. It's just got to be because of your years, your experience on Earth. The time you have is relative. So if you're 7, you only have 7 years of experience of life to really compare the rest to. But the older you get, when you're 40, you have 40 years to look back on of time.
Mm-hmm.
So, and when you're 80, it's so weird.
There's a math equation for it.
That's cool. If it's going this fast now and I'm only 28, then it's like, how much faster can it get? You know what I mean? We're almost halfway through 2021.
Yeah, but you know what's so weird? The days that aren't weekends feel so long. I feel like I'm never going to get to the end of the day. When it's like a work day, I feel like I'm never going to make it.
That's how I felt this last Friday. Saturday, but my Friday from work. That day it would not end. It was the longest day of my life. I felt bad too. Like, I think I was just super tired. I don't know.
Oops, my bad.
You're fine. I heard that ringing. I was like, what? What is that?
It's me. I was playing. I'll quit playing.
It's okay.
But yeah, it's a whole math thing, but sorry.
Tell us, what's so funny?
The goddamn Nemo and the Anemone.
Yeah, I was experimenting, and I have a TV in here. I put on some nature ocean videos, 4K videos, just to like have a chill vibe in here.
Yeah. I'm glad that you picked the ocean. This week in my classroom, we have to create a mural dedicated to the ocean. I am going to have my students, I'm going to have them in 5 groups, I think. And each group is going to have a piece of butcher paper, and they're going to like draw the zones, the levels, I don't know. Each section of the ocean, like the top, and then...
Oh, is there sections?
Yeah, I think it's like called zones or something. I can't remember, but like how there's different animals.
I thought you were talking about the different oceans, like the Pacific, the Atlantic, and I was like, Megan?
How like different animals survive in each place, and they're all gonna... And one of them's gonna be like full-blown black. Mm-hmm. The bottom level, I think. The bottom level of the ocean's just pretty much black.
You couldn't remember the levels?
I don't know. I don't remember how many levels there are. I'm wanting to say 4, but good. I could be fucking wrong. So I'm going to have each group do a level of the ocean.
That's fun.
It's just another...
Stupid?
Mm-hmm. Another thing we have to do is what I'm going to say. Another thing that we have to do when I already have to do so much.
Yeah. Life of a teacher, man. What can you do?
Yeah. It's infuriating.
But anyways, the TV thing, I do want to, and Megan may not know this yet, but she's fixing to. Like in the near future, I want to have this as a video podcast where we're on camera. I'm working on getting that figured out. She's clapping.
So I can't sit here in my PJs with...
No, you could do that.
No,
for
I'm
sure.
not doing that.
Why? It's our podcast. We can do whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah, but I don't want people to think I'm a slob.
Well, that's part of it. It's a chill vibe. That's probably what they'd come for if and when they come to watch us.
Me and my PJs.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's a feel. It's all about the feel and the vibe. You know what I mean?
They probably don't want to see me because I look like a raging bitch the whole time.
What? How? Because your posture or your
This is how
face?
I look.
Well, if you're on camera, you won't look like that.
Bitch, I might.
I don't think so. I think you look pretty.
Don't kill my vibe.
And plus, how can you be... Look at these dolphins swimming. How could you be like...
Mhm.
How could you have a mean face when there's these pretty dolphins swimming around?
Yeah, what if I have my kids do a dolphin jumping out of the ocean on the first level?
How are they going to do that? They're 5.
6. Most of them.
They're all in kindergarten where you're supposed
One
to be
of
5.
them's
And they're
7. Baby, they are 5 when they come in and they turn 6 somewhere in the year.
Or
But some of
7.
them aren't turning 6 until summer.
Oh. That was me. I didn't
Yeah.
turn... I turned 6 at the very end of first grade. I mean, kindergarten.
Mm.
I think. So I got
I-
held back.
I got held back too.
August 27th. So it was like right when I came back from... Or right when I started school, I guess. I was 5 or something. I don't know.
If you got held back, you were older than all the other kids after you got held back.
Yeah, I was.
I was older too because I got held back for being emotionally unstable.
Right. I was just younger. I was younger than
And
almost...
stupid.
I wasn't stupid. I was just
You're
younger
stupid.
than mostly everybody in the class.
He was stupid.
I was younger than everybody in the class, and then when I got held back, I was older than everybody in the class. So not even that. There was a couple kids that was older than me still, but that's how them things go.
I have a 7-year-old in my class right now.
That's a second grader. Supposed to be. Hope he's doing better than everyone else.
He just came. I just got him. He's been there
1
week on Monday.
Fun stuff, baby.
Mm-hmm.
You know what we should talk about now? Let's talk about your show.
Oh yeah. So I read this book.
Listen to.
Same damn thing. I listened to this book. Are they mating? Are the
No,
dolphins mating? I
no,
think they are.
they're going tummy to tummy like they have fun swimming like that. I don't think they do it like that.
Huh.
I don't see a little spiky dick coming out of any of them.
Okay. Anyway, I listened to this book called Behind Her Eyes. You might have seen it on Netflix. And I really, really, really liked it. It was super interesting. And spoilers, by the way.
Yeah, we're gonna spoil the whole show
We are
and
going
book.
to spoil it all. So,
If you want to watch it or read it, this is your moment. Skip like, how long you think we'll talk about this? Skip like 10 minutes into the podcast.
or just come back later.
Or come back after you watch it. But, I mean, don't, like, if you want to keep listening to the rest of the podcast, then skip like 10 minutes.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
What?
Nothing.
Or if you don't care about spoilers, because this is actually, I would recommend, if you're watching and listening to this with us, and if you're like if you're listening to this and you like Megan as a person, and you like how she thinks, then yeah, go watch the show. But if you are here and like me and like about movies and stuff that I watch, then I would say just skip this show and just listen to us talk about it. instead.
That is so fucking rude.
Why?
You are a rude ass person. I never want to share anything with you again that I
Megan.
like.
I like this show. It's good. Do I think that I would recommend for people to watch it? Would I tell my brother, hey Jaden, you should really watch this show? No. I would say just listen to us talk about it because it's interesting, but it's not like something I would say, yeah, it's so good, watch it.
Okay, well, I read the book and I really liked it, and
The book is probably amazing. Read the book if you're going to do that, because I can tell watching the show that they did a fine job adapting it. I think this is probably the best adaptation of the book you could probably do, because they had a pretty good budget. It looks like the effects and everything look pretty good. Like there's a lot of fire stuff. There's some dream world stuff which looks good, and it's like really it's shot nice and looks pretty. The actors do a good job, for the most part, and I think it's probably the best adaptation of this book you could do because they give you enough time. There's 6 parts. It's not condensed into one movie. I just think that it probably doesn't translate as well to the show. In book form, it's probably 10 out of 10.
Yeah. I really, really liked the book, and I did like the show.
Do you think it's the best they could have done to adapt the show? Or do you think it could be better?
I think that they probably could have done a little tiny bit better. I think they did a really good job, but they took out all of and I don't know if they could have done this, but a lot of the book is like inner monologue with Adele. Like she is talking in her head a lot, and they completely cut that out, completely and totally.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know that maybe they thought we can't do that well, or we can just do it this way.
Is Adele more of the main character in the book, or is Louise?
It's a 2-parter.
So it's split between Louise and Adele.
Mm-hmm. But Adele has a lot of conversations in her head.
About?
Just
talking about...
You hear her talking about the stuff that's going on with David and Louise.
And what she should do, or...
Yeah.
What she's gonna do?
In the show, unless you kind of just know, you don't really know that Adele knows that Louise is fucking her husband until kind of towards the end.
You don't know?
You can't really tell that Adele knows that in the movie or in the show. But in the book, you know that Adele knows it at the very beginning.
Oh. Oh, yeah. I see what you mean.
Yeah. Because you have that inner monologue.
I see.
And just some other things too. I mean, it's not super important, but just broke the damn chair.
Good job.
But I think that they did a pretty good job, and I liked the little hints with how their spirit came out in the little colors.
Is that what you want to call it? The spirit?
I guess, yeah.
I think it's the soul.
The soul, okay. The soul comes out in the colors.
Yeah, I don't want to get into a big debate on soul versus spirit, but we can call it what we want. It's mythical.
Okay, I don't give a shit.
Okay, snappy.
A soul. The soul comes out, and it gives you some hints that that Adele isn't Adele anymore, because Rob's soul was always blue and Adele's was pink. And now when Adele's soul comes out throughout the whole thing, it's always blue, like Rob's, because it's really Rob.
Spoilers.
Rob killed Adele. Oh. Rob killed Adele.
Long time ago, 10 years ago.
He switched bodies with her, and then killed Adele in his body and made it look like he was dead. But really, he killed Adele and dropped her in the well on Adele's estate.
And said that she overdosed. He overdosed.
Also in the book.
Because he did, really.
Yeah.
But why did she have to push him down the well?
I don't know. Also in the book, his body is completely like deteriorated. It's gone.
Mm-hmm.
But they find his teeth, and they use his teeth to identify his body.
At the end of the book.
When they go and find him.
But because I don't know.
And here his
So
body
David
is
was
still
not-
perfectly preserved 10 years later.
Well, it just looks like that. It doesn't even it doesn't even tell. It doesn't even show us that they went and got his body or anything in the show.
Well, I
Like,
mean,
David
every
was-
time.
David was let off the hook for that in the book.
Well, Adele wrote a suicide
that's right.
note.
The note that said it
And-
was all her fault.
Yes, and so they checked all the fingerprints, and her fingerprints were the only fingerprints on the letter.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And his body was so gone they couldn't tell. Like, if there was probably no flesh to test for toxicology to say he died from heroin overdose.
yeah. And then, she even explained why the watch was there in detail. She like explained everything in the letter, and then they were like,
Because it slipped off her wrist,
yeah, it slipped off her wrist.
so that it wasn't his. Oh, because she wanted him to be clear and free, so that.
Yeah, she wanted him to be clear and free because she loved him.
Is this the most convoluted plan ever?
Yeah.
Not really
And-
convoluted, because the plan works like the most complicated, concise plan. Like, there's so many steps to make this actually work that everything has to go so meticulously as planned.
Yeah.
So Rob is like a secret genius.
He is. And he,
Also, a secret asshole, because I liked him through most of the show.
I know.
Because he seems like the most, and that's one problem I have, is that we didn't really, I mean, it has to be a surprise because that's the twist of the show, but they could have done more with Rob's character to let us know that maybe he was more of a devious asshole and that he really loved David, because we didn't really get that. We really see him so affectionate over Adele.
Well, when he was looking at the camera, didn't you see how he covered up Adele's face and was just looking at David in that picture? And then he took other pictures of David, and he was like rubbing them and
What? That after he on the camera?
on the camera. Yeah.
I thought he covered up David's face.
No, he covered up Adele's. And then
No. This is what I thought it was. I remember now. He did put his finger on the camera, and it looked like he was doing this, like he was rubbing his thumb. So I thought, he's, like when people look at pictures and they like touch it and they're like, oh yeah, my precious baby. Like they're like in love and they're like, I miss you so much. I don't know why they have to do that with their hand, but I thought that's what he was doing, like lovingly touching it like her. I didn't realize that's what.
Yeah, no, he was covering her up.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
Does it say that in the book?
Yes, I'm very sure about it.
He was just like, I don't want to look at your face.
He was just trying to.
I want to just see this guy.
Yeah, and he went and like watched them have sex,
Yeah, and he
you're
looked at
thinking-
just David.
Yeah, and he looked at just David. And
that's why I noticed that. I was like, well, why is he looking at...
you said that, and then I was like, well, I don't want to spoil it, so I'm going to say, well, it would be hard for him to look at her.
Yeah, you did. And I was like, okay.
But I was just trying to not spoil it.
That's good. But it totally works, because that's some shit you would say anyways.
Yeah. But yeah, he was totally in love with David. And there's like a whole big, there's a whole Rob chapter where he talks about how he thought that he was so in love with Adele. And he says, and I think this happens to a lot of people. You think that you're so in love with somebody, and then somebody else comes along, and you can't imagine loving anybody else more than that, and you can't believe that you loved you thought you loved this person because it was nowhere near what you feel for them. And he said, and that's how it was for me. I thought that I was so in love with Adele before I met David. I thought that she was my one true love, and I hated David because he had her and I couldn't. But then I met David, and Adele was nothing to me anymore.
My gosh.
I was in love with David.
What a piece of work.
Yeah.
What a psychopath.
Yep. He was crazy.
And what's so great about David?
Nothing. I mean,
He kind of sucks.
yeah. I mean, he
doesn't
sucks.
suck. He's just plain.
Yeah, he's plain. He has a plain job.
But he has a cool accent.
He has a cool accent, but
He
it's not that.
he sounds like he's from Game of Thrones.
But listen, it's not that cool for if you live there.
True,
if you
everyone
ask me.
sounds like that.
Everyone sounds like that. It's not that cool.
But it is cool. It is like, to have like, to have all the characters speak like that is pretty cool.
I'm just like, yo, either Rob is a really good actor,
Mm-hmm.
or, like being other people, or David really sucks at knowing his people.
True that.
But to be fair, he was best friends with Adele for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I say very long, but like, I think it was
a couple months.
No, they were in
Rehab for years.
Rehab. Not years, but I think they were in for a year.
Mm.
And
they spent every day together.
And
why did she go to rehab?
She went to
for weed.
Well,
pills.
They didn't really call it rehab in the book. They never said it was rehab. They just referred to it as Westchester's, the institution or whatever.
Mm.
And they always said that she had had like a break because of her parents, like a psychotic break.
Mm.
So I don't know, because she didn't do drugs either. The only drug she had ever done was weed. And she started that with Rob. So the rehab doesn't really make sense because she started weed with Rob in there.
Wasn't pills or anything? The antidepressants or something?
David's the one who put her on those. She wasn't on them before.
So, I don't know. Maybe they just sent her there for therapy or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Take time off.
They never called it rehab in the book.
Okay.
But
he was there. Why was he there then? Heroin in the book?
He was there because he was a sociopath.
So it was more of a...
It was more of like a crazy place, crazy house, not
nutter.
House. Yeah.
A nutter better.
It was more of like that in the book, but I think it's just easier to say rehab.
Yeah.
So anyway, they got out of there at the same time, and Rob had like extended their stay a couple times by getting them caught with weed. And so that's why she said, we can't get caught again. I can't keep staying here.
Right.
But so he knew her for a very long time. He really got to know everything about her. So he was able, I feel like he was really able to play the part of Adele well. And he really, really spied on Louise a lot. After that first time he went to the flat, he went and spied on her at least once every day.
Oh, yeah.
He spied on her a lot.
It makes sense to just show up there so that you can see the place.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. How do you feel about the whole dreams and astroprojectile travel?
I thought that it was a cool take. I mean, I don't think that I would read a whole lot more books like with it in there. But I thought it was cool.
When was that introduced in the book?
Well, it was towards the beginning because it was when it was like you saw that Louise had night terrors in the book. And then one of the first few times she talks to Adele, she tells her about it. And it's very early. But and then in like Adele's chapters, because in each chapter, it's either from Louise's perspective or Adele's perspective, or it'll say like them, and that's from the book. So there's chapters that are the book with Rob and Adele. There's chapters that are just from Adele's perspective, and chapters that are just from Louise's perspective. And you see more of it in like Adele's early chapters. So I mean, it starts very early. It's early.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's one of the things that caught me off guard. In the show when it started happening, they do a good job of setting up the night terror stuff because that's like the very first episode.
Mm-hmm.
And that starts happening, and you continually see it happen, and it's done well. And I was kind of like, well, where's this gonna go? And the controlling your dreams to sleep better, like the first door, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's good. I was like, okay, that's cool. And then because I didn't think it was gonna turn into like some sci-fi shit, and so whenever it shows in the show, it shows like an aura around the screen, but it's looking like it's like a point of view shot, and then you can see what looks like someone else is seeing, and I was like, what in the world is this? Is this what's gonna happen now? We're in this weird. Oh, excuse me. We're in this weird world where, you can spy on some people with like your aura and stuff. And I did not expect that from the show. I thought it was going to be more of a, a drama, who did it type of thing. I didn't know there was going to be like sci-fi elements or something. So, and it comes late. It comes like halfway through the show.
Yeah.
And you only have like 3 more episodes. I mean, it's only 6 episodes, but when it's introduced so late in the show, you're like,
yeah,
this is going to be a thing now?
It's earlier in the book. I mean, you have more time with it. But I don't know. I
just kind of wish that wasn't a part of it. What do you think?
Then it wouldn't have been possible for Rob to switch bodies.
I know, but like, does that have to be part of it? The switching bodies stuff?
For the
story to work, yeah, I guess. But like, couldn't it have just been more of a murder like of
well, that's what I liked about it, was that it was different. It's not just a murder thing. It's different. It was intriguing. It was cool.
Yeah, that's true.
I liked it. It was very different. It was not what I expected. I was very taken aback.
Yeah, me too. Like, so you were... See, I don't really like the twist that much.
Well, I did.
And so you're like, oh, this was a good twist.
Mm-hmm.
I bet in the book it's pretty crazy. It's probably written better in the book than the show can really do it justice, but they tried. I had that moment I told Megan when I realized what was happening, that, they were going to switch bodies. And this is the very last episode that that this is like a thing that's going to happen. And I was like, no, they're not going to switch bodies right now. And then before, it's alluded to something, like something happened. Rob says, like the episode before, you want to try something? I heard something that you can do. And I'm like, okay. And then when I see them switch bodies, I'm like, oh God, the thing they're going to do is they're going to switch bodies. And Rob is going to be in Adele's body, and it's going to be Rob this whole time. And I'm like, no, they're not going to do that. And then the episode, it plays out, and that's what happens. And I'm like, oh my God. Why? And Luis is dead. It's a bummer ending, really. It's really not. It's not what I would call a feel-good show.
Yeah.
If you want to have a happy time.
Yeah, I really, really wanted Louise to end up being with David. I wanted it so bad.
I wanted her to run away. I wanted her to get back with her ex-husband.
Yeah, he's nice.
They seemed like they had some nice chemistry at the end, and Adam was having fun and being with his parents, and it seemed like a good relationship. And I was like, just, fuck Lisa, get back with him.
Fuck Lisa. Lisa's pregnant.
So what?
Anyway. Yeah, I wish that I like happy endings, but I was just, if it has to be a sad ending, I'm glad it at least surprised me.
True.
Anyway, we can get off this topic because I hate when you tell me you hate things that I like.
I never said I hated this. I said it's good. It's a good show. Yeah, it's a good show. It actually is. And I looked at the IMDb score, and it's based on a book and everything, and I was like, this will probably be good. And I never give Megan a chance with shows most of the time. We mostly just watch whatever
he wants.
I want to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Because all the stuff I watch is dope and amazing. It's
I
good
hate most of the stuff
good
you watch.
as shit. Well, that's just because you have bad taste. Do you hear my bump, bada bump, 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 bump? Defend yourself, Megan.
No, I'm not going to defend myself. That was straight up rude.
What? People say that all the time. It doesn't matter.
It matters to me. It hurts my feelings.
That I said you have bad taste?
Yes.
Okay, you have good taste. There you go. You like Bob's Burgers. You like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Those are good shows. So I know you have good taste in comedy. What drama shows do you like? You like Grey's Anatomy? You like House is a good show. What else do you like?
Nothing.
I had something else to say about the Behind Your Eyes, but I don't remember what it is now. Something about the ending. The ending shot is good. It goes to shows her face, and then it zooms in on her face, and you're like, because I was thinking about that towards the end. I was like, why is this called what it's called? Behind Her Eyes. And I had that thought because we're getting close to the end, and I didn't understand. And the very ending shot with her face so close to the camera, zooming in on the eye, and the actress did a great job of adapting.
Crazy.
Yeah, well, adapting herself to look like Louise, who we've known the whole show, and now she's going to be Rob/Adele, and the actress has to convey that. And the last shot of her face looks nothing like the Louise we've seen the whole show. Looks like a different person.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really good, that last shot. And I was like, oh my gosh, Behind Her Eyes, I get it. So, excuse me. We just ate Taco Bell, and I'm super burpy. Good show. All right, Megan, what do you give it out of 10? When I do movie reviews, I rank 1 to 10. So what do you give it out of 10?
I give the book like a 9 out of 10.
What's Harry Potter?
10 out of 10.
Everyone?
Everyone. I give it like a 9. The show I give like a 7, probably.
A 7?
I liked it.
I was going to give it a 7 too. So, I like it as good as you did. And you're saying I'm a hater over here.
Because you bitch a lot.
Okay. So if you're giving it a 7, actually I'm going to give it a 6.5. Just so I can be lower than you. She just rolled her eyes. This is why we have to have the camera version. Because we can't, so much is lost in Megan's body language. You're going to think you're going to know that she actually does hate me when you see when you see the footage. Like the actual camera footage, the way she looks at me and the way she looks so pissed when I'm talking about saying she has bad taste and stuff.
Well, you're so rude to me on podcasts. I don't know why.
Baby, I'm not being rude to you. I swear. I'm not meaning to.
Well, you are.
Just don't take it so personally. It's nothing to do. I love you so much. You're the love of my life. We're just having fun on a podcast. So what, I talk talk crap
Mean?
talk crap about shows and stuff like that. Whatever. You get too offended too easily about this stuff.
Baby, I get too offended about everything in my life all the time. You know this.
Well, we've gotten over that though.
Me getting offended easily?
Yeah.
No, we haven't.
When I first met you, I literally couldn't say anything as a joke to you, like about anything that you wore or what you looked like or how anything like that. I couldn't say anything because it would hurt your feelings. That's what you told me. You told me, please don't do this. It's going to hurt my feelings, blah, blah, blah. So I never did. And slowly over time, I've cut that away to where I can joke with you and poke fun at you about things and you don't get offended or cry about it. So we've gone a long way from that. Would you say that's fair? What?
I don't know. Maybe.
Ah,
And it was right up so big on the thing.
there's a fish with big old lips and some DSLs on that sucker. There's a turtle. I think Megan is checking out of this conversation. She's like, no, this isn't my therapy session. This is supposed to be a podcast.
Once you start getting rude, I get done. It
All right.
happens every podcast.
Thanks for listening, everybody. This has been the Kinda Cool Podcast with your two lovable hosts, Jamin and Megan.
One of us is a dick. You can decide.
Yeah, you can decide which of us is the dick.
Leave it in the comments.
We're going to couples therapy right now. We were late for our session. All right, guys. Subscribe, like, all that bullshit, and we'll see you in the next episode. Megan, say bye. Megan, say bye.
Goodbye.